Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Spy Party Competitive League Season 5 livecast. Today, we have the Gold Division Finals between Yeesh and OpiWrites. Joining me today are casters Dowsey and Warning Track. And so let's take a look at the Gold Division standings for a moment here. We can see that Yeesh completely dominated this season, finishing in first place with 9 wins, not a single loss, and just 1 draw. OpiWrites in second on the standings with a score of 14, a few points behind Yeesh. 6 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, a little bit more of an uneven season, but the way these upper divisions work is that the top 2 face it out for division champion, and whoever wins this match will earn themselves a promotion up to platinum. Dowsey, can you tell us a little bit about these players' histories throughout SCL?
Yeah, absolutely, Dels. Yeesh has quite a rich history in the Spy Party Competitive League, joining it in Season 2 in the Copper Division, where he placed third, only to be beaten out by the forever combo of Ponoob and Falcon Hit, who've kind of just progressed through Spy Party Competitive League hand in hand up until this year. And then after Season 2, Yeesh came into the Bronze Division, where he placed second in regular season, but then beat Year End Out in the championship final to get promoted. In Season 4, he took a leave, had, I think, basic training that he needed to prioritize, and he's just come back swinging absolutely in Season 5 here. Like you mentioned, a practically flawless season, only 1 draw on his record here. He won the Spy Party Summer Cup in 2018 as well, without dropping a game either, undefeated in that. And so probably one of the hottest competitive players that we have currently in the league, really. Not to be overshadowed is OpiWrites, their first Spy Party Competitive League season. They got placed into Gold Division after they completed their placements. There's a lot of pressure when you get placed so high by a decision like that. But OP has proven that they can battle in gold. They've come second overall and now find themselves facing probably the worst person you can face in any championship match. I don't know about you, Warning Track, but I've played against Yeesh and it's scary.
It's very scary, yeah. It's kind of weird to say that someone's clearly under-promoted when they're as high as gold, but you kind of have to say that when you look at Yeesh's overall numbers. As Dell's mentioned, 9 wins, no losses, 1 draw, but that number 1 on the standings is glowing red to Yeesh because that draw came at the hands of their opponent today, OpiWrites, the only person to take any points off them. And not only is there a guaranteed spot in Platinum on the line, but SCL history could be made right here, right now. Yeesh comes into this match with a 90% sniper win rate. That's 37 out of 41 games. If they win at least 6 out of 7 in this match, they will finish with the highest sniper win rate in SCL history, topping Kaylee, who came into the Season 3 finals with a 93% rate, but he was playing KCM in those finals, lost a couple, and it was bumped down to 89. So 5 out of 7 won't get it done for Yeesh. 6 out of 7 will for the record. But before you think about records, that's your business. That's my business. That's something we care about. The players, though, just care about getting that guaranteed spot in Platinum tonight.
And so the players are drafting their picks and bans now. The first bans coming in from both players. Yeesh has banned Taeyen and OpiWrites has banned Gallery.
Yeah, this is no surprise. It's a complete replica of what we saw in that Week 7 match where the players went 6-6 versus each other. Taeyen is a very difficult venue to get right. Yeesh is very good at Taeyen, but doesn't want to leave anything to chance here. And OP has a lot of experience on the venue as well. And so you can imagine that's just one of those swingy venues that if you can remove it from the pool, that's great. Yeesh is one of the best gallery players in the competition outright. And OpiWrites is not going to test his mettle on gallery, despite being a venue that he feels comfortable on.
Yeah, the real question is Opie going to go different with his doubled pick? He picked Library into Yeesh in their Week 3 matchup and lost all 4 games. Can't imagine he's going to go for it again.
Well, this time it's actually Yeesh who is doubling Library as OpiWrites doubles Ballroom.
There we go. So Opie picks Library into Yeesh. Yeesh sweeps it and says, I kind of liked that. Maybe I'll do that next time. And that's exactly what he does here in the finals.
I mean, there's 3 venues. Yeesh has boasted a 100% win rate across both Sniper and Spy this season, and Library is one of them. The other two being Balcony as well as Tayan, which we're going to see banned out here. Ballroom for OpiWrites is a pretty solid venue. It's their best competitive venue outright, apart from Terrace, which we have seen a little bit of an uptick in. So maybe that sneaks its way into the draft. I'm excited to see.
Well, no, this is an iron. We're not going to see too much Terrace. No, that's crazy. You never see it this high. Ballroom is a good choice for Opie. He's 8 for 9 as Spy on Ballroom, which is absurd. But check this out. These two players, actually, this is the risk of picking Ballroom. These two players are number 1 and number 2 on Ballroom in overall win rate this year among players with a minimum of 10 games. Yeah, that's in all divisions. These are the 2 best Ballroom players this season. And Opie says, I think I have a slight edge on it.
And the single picks coming in, we have Yeesh picking Aquarium as OpiWrites picks High Rise.
This is very surprising to me, wanting track. Yeesh is basically giving himself a lot of spy agency in this series whilst feeling comfortable enough that his sniper can cover the tricky venues like Aquarium that has a lot of obscurity to it. Library has a lot of obscurity to it. And so basically saying, I'm going to be the better spy in this series as well as the better sniper. Watch out, OP.
Yeah, he's not just relying on that dominating sniper win rate. I think he's actually expecting that Opie's going to be ready on sniper and not give up much, so he's going to actually need spy wins in addition to those plentiful sniper wins that he's been banging out all year. He did pick Aquarium in their Week 7 matchup. They split that. Yeesh went up 2-0, then lost the last 2. So there it is, the definition of a swingy venue.
And
when it comes to High Rise actually hasn't been a very strong venue for Opie at all, comparatively to Yeesh. 62% win rate in comparison to Yeesh's 80%. But that's kind of an underdog pick, High Rise, when you're picking a 3 of 5 into an opponent. You're basically saying, I need to find some spy wins here, and hopefully I can get a party that allows me to find them.
Yeah, very often. I think in this case, though, Yeesh's might be playing into OpiWrites' hands. I can tell you with high confidence that Opie is fine with that pick.
And closing it out, we have Courtyard from Yeesh and Veranda from OpiWrites.
And this is a strategy that I hear you boast a lot about, Track. You need to know when you're going to be up in a series and know when you just need to ride out the wave. Courtyard, a great venue to just ride out that wave if you think you are going to be up towards the end of the series. And that's kind of the confidence of it. Veranda, on the other hand, does that see that OpiWrites thinks he's going to be up? Because that's just a venue you don't expect many spy wins on at this level of play.
Yeah, these last 2 picks suggest that both players plan to have a lead going into the end. One of them is going to be sorely mistaken, I think. That's a big risk to take. And that is exactly what you do with something like Courtyard. I made a number of mistakes early in the season, picking swingy venues, not trusting that my doubled picks would work out. And if you don't do that, you find yourself on a venue that can actually give up your lead rather than help you maintain it. Courtyard, in the hands of a high-level sniper, and these are high-level snipers, is a split very, very often. So the question is, which of these players is going to regret picking a safe sniper map at the end?
This is one of the hottest finals that we're having in the SpyParty competitive league this year. Yeesh has just been on an uptick of success for the years and years of SpyParty competitive league. From season 2 to now, he has just grown and matured as a player overall, one of the scariest in the league. And now we have the hotshot OpiWrites, who finds himself in gold division, playing with all the big dogs and fighting to say new blood can come into SEO and win it.
Yep, fighting over that golden bone. One of the dogs is going to win it today. And yeah, Yeesh, as you said, just a huge, huge surge. The only thing that's stopped him so far has been the U.S. military.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Season 4, just a bit of a break, but he didn't let it stop him in other competitions coming in hot. Yeesh going to pick up an early highlight here for just stopping at the window and sipping immediately. OP is staring this down. It's going to be a purloin at windows, and OP should have this shot in the bag. You have to imagine. Isn't going to do anything risky. It's game 1 of a series that you want to win here. So let's take some guaranteed lowlights and ride it out until Yeesh reveals his face even further.
Opie mentioned to me before this match that he's noticed a tendency for Yeesh to make a beeline for a seduction target early in these games, and he was going to be looking for that. That's what he highlighted him for. The crazy thing is, it wasn't for the seduction target. He stopped with just a random AI, but he picks up the highlight all the same for that tendency. Opie's research paying off, and now the purloin is going to be obviously clearly visible based on that early suspicion. But we've seen OpiWrites take aggressive shots and give games away earlier this season, obviously determined not to let that happen again at the end of the year.
And what I want to know is, how does Yeesh play when he believes he is behind? Because quite clearly a spy at the caliber of Yeesh is going to understand the position that he's in. That purloin was always meant to be a green test. When you're spying at this level, you bet that you hit the green test. It's do or die moments like these that spies bet on. And so does Yeesh play it slow? Does he lead into the suspicion? Is there another AI that he believes he can frame? What is Yeesh looking for at the moment, Track?
Right now, it really looks like he just wants to idle and cause doubt in Opie's mind, and that actually would normally, I think, be a very good move, but in this case, because of that early highlight, which there's no way he could have expected at this point, because of that early highlight, Opie must have an incredibly high amount of confidence that Yeesh cannot possibly guess he has his, so he's probably sitting here thinking, I can wait this out. No, there's the flash from Opie. Yep. Yeesh is thinking he can wait this out. There's going to be a red test on the banana bread, though. This is going to be all too easy.
Yeah, there it is. That's the confirmation that OP needed, or is it? Maybe the cough was blocked by Till's head. No, it's not. The shot comes through, and OP will secure the first game of this series. And like you mentioned, Track, the early highlight giving OP so much confidence, but a white purloin like that, always going to be the case that a player can just feel like, yep, if I got the green, that game is interesting. Don't get the green, it's okay. There's a whole lot of them to come.
Yeah, absolutely. The crazy thing is, that's obviously a great strategy, great research from Opie, but he didn't need it that game. Between the white purloin and the red BB, he was going to win that one probably pretty easy anyway, but it's got to feel good for him to know that his early strategy, his gamble, actually worked.
Absolutely. That's some brilliant piece of research coming through here. Worth noting that Yeesh won the coin flip in this draft and opted to spy first here. Wanted to put a bit of doubt into OP by getting those early spy wins. That means that OP is always going to be sniping first in this series here. OP currently hiding perfectly behind Duke here. Picks up a really early 51% flirt. Yellow book in hand. We'll have to see how he wants to play with this. Could look for the direct transfer against Yeesh.
Yeah, Opie actually, even though he likes Library, is 0 for 7 as Spy on Library this season, and in fact has not even reached mission win countdown in any of them.
That's a shockingly consistent statistic there, Track. One that OP clearly would want to reverse in this grand final, the gold finals here. A best of 16, 8 points necessary for Yeesh to take the gold championship. 9 for OpiWrites as second seed coming in, needing the full 9 points in this best of 16. OP pathing across the library here, potentially looking for a bug onto the ambassador, are we? Or are we just wanting to transfer the book here? A lot of time being thrown into the idol.
Yeah, timeouts could be a problem here, and it is going to have to be a mission win countdown at some point because Yeesh does not shoot civilians. He's shot only 1 all season.
You don't get 91% sniper win rate by shooting civilians, Track. Yeesh, the highest sniper win rate I believe SEL has ever seen this season. Shockingly high. I can remember last year when Yeren boasted 85% or something ridiculous. It was like, wow, that is high. And here's Yeesh just going, I can do better. That's going to be the flirt completed at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but that's 1 of 5 missions required from OpiWrites here. And it seems like we're heavily betting on a microfilm transfer direct. The yellow book across, going to be putting it into the blue bookshelf, and a highlight says that Yeesh is on top.
Yeah, totally on top of it. And he was on screen for a long time because he was on the same conversation circle as the ambassador. That's something you're going to notice from Yeesh. He stares the ambassador down, particularly when they're vulnerable. That actually is Opie's opening. That's what happened. That one civ shot he had all year, it was when Turnout rushed a book on Gallery, specifically because the ambassador was vulnerable in the time of chaos. So what Opie needs to do is take advantage when the ambassador is vulnerable and do something else, because Yeesh is going to let all that ambassador vulnerability soak up his attention.
Right now, it looks like the ambassador may be vulnerable from OP's point of view, but as we can see, a suspected double agent is the person to the left of the ambassador. It's going to be a real contact coming through. 3 conversations with SDAs in them, and a stop talk from OP, so not to be seen. A couple of lowlights coming through from Yeesh, but nothing conclusive just yet. OpiWrites suddenly has 3 missions completed, and 1 minute and 30 to finish this match.
3 missions completed, but we're almost certainly top suspect or one of them, and it's hard to imagine he's going to get away with anything. There's the time ad. Yeesh is really good at catching these.
Yeah, 45 seconds, and Yeesh is going to play it smart and cool and collected. Lowlights galore comes through. Double twin suspect here. 1 at bookshelves, 1 in the conversation next to the ambassador. And that's going to be the neutral light to just showcase that Yeesh knows which one was the suspect for the direct microfilm transfer early. We've got 1 minute and 40 seconds here. for OP to try and find 2 more missions, but in a 2-man game, it's nigh impossible.
Yeah, at this point, you kind of need a lot of help from that AI. They need to act a little crazy, path by the ambush, something really hard to imagine, barring a lot of luck like that OP can get this win.
Feels like Yeesh is just rapidly snapping between these 2 twins here and just showcasing to us that he's pretty confident that OP is the spy, but he wants to wait. There's the bug attempt where we tried to purloin. Priorities coming through on the actions, but didn't really matter at that point. That's all that Yeesh needed to find the sniper win, and we start off with a sniper party.
Yeah, and that's actually not bad for OP. Again, he lost 4-0 on Library when they played it earlier in the season. If he just deadlocks on this and then gets to play his venue, I think he's going to be just fine with that.
Switching very quickly into the next game here. No one watching replays, something that has been noted about OP's game in the past. Doesn't usually do that. Yeesh going to be playing his absolutely most famous spy pick, the Plane Twin. Almost picks up a highlight at the start. But
there
Yeesh
it is.
somehow manages to avoid it, and it's going to be OP highlighting the Bling Twin instead. I mean, that's some research coming through. Opposition research. Plane Twin is literally Yeesh's profile picture. Like, it doesn't get more iconic than that.
That's one way to throw your opponents off. Pick one character as your avatar.
Yeesh is going to bounce back into the same conversation with their seduction target and look for a double green flirt to open up the game nice and speedily here. I have to see how suspicious this looks to the sniper cam. 100% done on the flirt. OP very capable of flirt pairing, but it may be a little bit difficult when you only get 2 attempts to see it. Now it's going to be the innocent drink take from Yeesh. 3 minutes and 30 seconds with the ambassador next to us, but not really a bugging opportunity.
Yeah, that's going to dilute the value of what OP is doing here, again, as you mentioned, because there's no reason to be by our seduction target ever again. The 2 flirt will help counteract that early tendency that OP has noticed and is trying to exploit here.
How does Yeesh want to find mission progress on the library here? We're going to gulp the drink, no longer valuable to us, potentially go for a contact. Instead, going to be the yellow book picked up here. I like this decision with the double agent right next to us in that conversation. At least they were. You have a really good opportunity to contact and then dip straight back into that yellow bookshelf and always look like you were there. Very short pathing allows for the BB split. Most successful, I think, on library if you're trying to get it past a competent sniper like OP.
It's always treacherous and risky to try to read the intent behind sniper laser movement, but something about the laser movement there made me think he was pretty concerned about Twin at that yellow bookshelf. He came back to him a couple of times in a short period.
Wow, Yeesh is looking for the direct transfer here, and it's going to be yellow book into green. Puts it back immediately, and OP's currently staring down the ambassador. Sees the twin, exit the bookshelf, but no highlights coming through, no laser movement. Insinuating to us that OP saw the direct transfer. Now, Yeesh in a conversation with the double agent.
Yep, he's going to do missions, and I think exactly the same order that OP just did them as one of the twins.
This could be Yeesh just stepping into a middle statue for an inspect swap at 2 minutes on the clock. A very fast spy mission completion here. That's the mission order that Yeesh wants to go for. Something that could throw OP off.
Yeah, otherwise playing pretty much the exact same game. Interesting choice here, by the way, to go to side statue. We're not going to try to finish this in one go.
Swap. Immediate green swap coming through. And a highlight as well. Yeesh is going to just bail it over to the other side of the library and finish inspects, I think.
Yeah, probably. And hopefully what's happening is he's watching for the swap while you're at the other end. You
we're
divide
doing it
the
here.
attention.
Wow, look at the conversation as well. Get that up on sniper cam. That conversation is stacked, and it's going to be very difficult for anyone to see that statue get swapped. Mission win pending now. It's going to be Kane picking up the statue, and OP has to make a hard call here. Sees the tip of the statue. Who swapped the statue? 3 seconds, but OP finds the right shot and going to keep Sniper Party alive.
He cut that really, really close, but he wanted to be sure. He had to be sure because a highlight picked it up. If a low light picks it up, if a neutral light picks it up, then maybe the second it happens, you can go take your shot. But that required a little processing. You could hear the gears turning in the sniper's mind, and they produced the correct result. He got his 2 sniper wins on library, guaranteeing himself at least a split on Yeesh's doubled venue.
That's excellent play from OP. The hard read on the swap coming through. There was no fade to complement that decision or gut intuition. And now you're up 2-1 with a spy game to come on the spy playground of library. Opie, very dangerous spy, has a tendency to just green test a purloin whilst at bookshelves or statues randomly and really just lose suspicion for such a read. But like you've mentioned so far in SEL, hasn't really been finding himself comfortable as the spy in library, far more stronger in those casual sets that you see from him. We'll have to see if Opie can pull something off here against Yeesh.
If it's a spy playground against most snipers, against someone like Yeesh, it's terrifying, filled with, I don't know, rusty swing sets and splinters everywhere. I would not have any fun playing Yeesh on library.
Yeesh, very dominant sniper, known for just being able to shoot you for a number of things. Good at camping, etiquette, behavioral, pathing, just the whole lot, really. It's dumb.
Good at sniping. His overall win rate, by the way, would make the 8th highest sniper win rate. That's how good Yeesh has been this season. He's horrifying.
Bug attempt walking, but we get bounced out of it. And Yeesh going to highlight for the bug attempt as well. We'll be pretty confident that he saw the animation, but the character here, General, that OP plays the strongest walking bugger in the game, argued by most. One of OpiWrites' favorite characters as well for that specific strength. And now OP is pretty much a dead man walking unless he can find some sneaky spy progress, or at least confuse Yeesh.
Dead man walking bug probably coming right up, yeah.
Over to green bookshelf here. OP steps on in. A lot of direct microfilm transfers coming through for both these snipers, clearly identifying that might be a break in their play that they can exploit here. But so far, unsuccessful overall. Green book held in hand as we step in for our second flirt here, Track.
Yeah, and this I just don't see a route here. He's just on to Opie's spy immediately, and just as he was in their previous library games. Obviously, the difference here that Opie is matching him on the sniper side, that works just fine. But Opie's spy on library is just a bad match against Yeast, who just seems to be all over it.
67% on the flirt, stepping back in and returning the book to the correct location. That low light wasn't as hard as we once thought. Just a pathing highlight probably coming through from Yeesh here, and returning the book correctly could provide a lot of cover for OP. All of a sudden, no longer a top suspect.
That could be very significant indeed. I mentioned that Yeesh doesn't shoot many civilians, not even civilians plural, civilian all season long, just one against Turnout 8. But the thing is, he will fixate on AIs if they act weird. If an AI acts weird, he will notice it. It's one of those areas where game knowledge can be a curse as much as a blessing.
That's the flirt completed here. A stop talk. We're going to look for the purloin. It's going to be a white test behind the pillar. And that's going to be difficult to get away with. There's the fade. There's the shot. Yeesh on top of things. And we're 2-2 apiece as we move over to the second venue of this game.
And again, it's just hard to imagine that OP is disappointed with this result. Obviously, you want to say, yes, of course I want to win every game. Yes, of course I want to win every venue set. But at the highest levels, the players are so good that you actually kind of can't think that way. You have to be honest about what's plausible, especially against someone with one of the highest sniper win rates in SEL history, potentially. So you'll take the split at this point, but now you have to win 3 of these 4 ballroom games, or you're going to have to win venues you didn't choose.
And Ballroom is a venue where you can get away with some pretty gross spy games. We'll have to see what these two competitors bring to us as Yeesh chases down his seduction target here. Once more, wearing his favorite plain twin. In conversation, a quick flirt for 51%. Bail on out before we're even seen in conversation, which seems to be working for Yeesh because of the way that OP is highlighting for early conversation gatherers. Yeesh just bails and gets away with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a white test, though, so he is going to be seen with them again, and I don't think, OP's strategy is going to work as well in Ballroom, maybe, as it did on Library.
Yeesh up to 84% very quickly. And I had a player ask me, how do you get seduced done so quickly? This is the perfect example of how to get seduced done so quickly. Just seduce. Like, the sniper can't see you seducing. Go into conversation, talk, leave. Come back into conversation, talk, leave. If the sniper doesn't shoot you for it, then you get away with a very time-consuming mission very quickly, and allows you to plan around the rest of the game, what hard tell or soft tells you need to complete to find those 4 missions on Ballroom.
Yeah, and Yeesh is very good at getting it done. He contacts and seduces about 2/3 of the time. But after that, you kind of just have to guess. Usually Bug is the third mission, but the fourth mission is almost equally likely to be Inspect, Fingerprint, or Microfilm. The Swap and Purloin are the odd men out usually. All three of those other missions, they'll complete at nearly the same rate.
Whoop, there it is. The highlight finally comes through for being seen in a position with a character at windows that maybe we've been next to before. It doesn't help that Yeesh is playing Plane to an Eva. When you're famous for playing characters, if you just see something that might be a little bit suspicious, a little bit common, then you go, yeah, okay, that's a free highlight, because you know that players have tendencies like this. Yeesh, definitely exploitable in that category. We're going to get a fingerprint from the green bookshelf and step into conversation with our double agent here. Yeesh staring down our seduction target, who's been to statues twice, wants to make sure that he doesn't throw that away. The attempt at a walking bug, OP rotated for it, and is going to just highlight, saying, yeah, you know what, I saw that, and now I'm going to watch for them to do anything else. Expected a Purloin, but it doesn't come through here. But at this point, Yeesh is top suspect.
Very interesting that those aggressive flirts into and out of conversation didn't really register. The flirt at windows, though, did. That's what he's been getting him for, and it seems to have actually made that bug that much easier to catch. It wasn't a particularly good one. Very low, very bad by Yeesh's normal, excellent walking bug standards.
Yeah, and it didn't connect either, so Yeesh still needs to find mission progress from somewhere here. And potentially OP is going to credit the bug as if it did connect. Contact comes through, green test, going to knock out quite a few civilians here, but we have two conversations full of suspects and a couple that have been to statues as well. We'll have to see if that's enough to get Yeesh out of this mess.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive, confident mission count for not shooting on what is ostensibly a top suspect, because it's hard to tell sometimes if those bugs connected or not from the sniper side.
That's going to be stepping into a blue bookshelf, which has a fingerprint on it, despite the fact that the ambassador had just taken a book out. And that's going to be the shot coming through. And like we mentioned, shooting as if the bug had connected there. OP on top of everything, and Yeesh still not finding the spy win.
Yeah, this is working very well for him. He's highlit him multiple times now for those early flirts. And what's crazy is it's not entirely clear maybe that if Yeesh is watching the replays, and based on the delays, they are only just starting to now here after the fifth game, it's not necessarily going to be completely obvious from these replays what he's getting him on. He might not realize that he's doing this or that he's being punished for it a little bit.
Now for your OpiWrites. Where do we find our spy wins on Ballroom? Well, typically they come through contacting and seducing like you would anticipate, but a lot of purloining going on as well, and a bit of transfer microfilming, which is a bit of an odd one. You don't expect as much of the transfer microfilm being successful, but I actually think it's a mission that typically is very successful against Yeesh of all players. We'll have to see if OpiWrites reads into that and goes for the transfer in this scenario.
Yeah, got to be very tempting. OpiWrites, as I mentioned, 8 for 9 as spy on Ballroom this season. Obviously, that's not going to happen against Yeesh at that kind of rate. But Yeesh has given up just 3 mission wins a sniper all season, 2 of them to OP.
You're in a catch-22 against Yeesh. It goes to say that you don't want to be a highlight versus Yeesh, but actually potentially you do want to be a highlight versus Yeesh. Because of the way he snipes, he tends to look at his neutralites harder than his highlights, just expecting that he will see his highlights doing a hard tell if they were to do one. And so a lot of the times when Yeesh misses something obvious, it's because he hasn't highlighted you. It's because he has highlighted you, I should say. And so because of that, maybe you lean into the suspicion of going to statues early. And look, OP's doing exactly that. Going to pick up the highlight for doing so. And it's more because of this weird position that we find ourselves in with Taft. But actually, Yeesh going to correctly highlight Taft for being at middle statues rather than OP here.
In the end of red.
We're not getting any flirt progress, though, Track. It's very slow.
Yeah, and that could absolutely come back to bite us later. But there is still 2 minutes left, and Ballroom, all the mission sites are clustered close together. And as for the sniper, well, Yeesh, if he has one weakness as sniper, and he might literally have one weakness at most, it's that he will sometimes, like KCM, not like to shoot for the obvious thing, even when it's obvious. He doesn't like shooting for, oh, they could have bugged, and they've gone to center statues late, etc., etc. Sees that as a crutch, sees it as something that holds his play back, but occasionally, when a spy is a little more obvious or intuitive in how they finish their missions, sometimes he won't take the shot that other lesser snipers would.
OP going to start seducing at this very late stage, but hits a red test and forces his seduction target to bail over to the blue bookshelf. OP now knows that he has to make up some progress, leaves the conversation after talking, picks up a highlight just for that, and now we're swapping right on laser cam here. Can OP get away with this, or Yeesh just going to see it and shoot? That's going to be the shot coming through. OpiWrites going to falter on the first game of Ballroom?
Still no spy wins. Spies are dropping like flies. 6 for 6 on the sniper side. This is, I got to be honest, kind of what I expected. Certainly from Yeesh, but Opie, after studying Yeesh for weeks now, I'm sure, ready for all his tricks. But the problem is you're still going to need a spy win at some point, because if you trade sniper wins the whole set, you lose.
Finally, going to be a bit of replay watching for OP, and it's a good point because in that game, Yeesh had low-lighted everyone in the far right conversation track for a fake BB. They're assuming because there was 2 full conversations with SDAs in it, it's very more likely that it's going to be a fake BB is going to just not be the spy doing it, and that could be the adaptation that a spy like OpiWrites, who watches the replay now, could use against Yeesh in the next game of Ballroom.
Yeah, they might have strong enough tendencies on library, and they both know what happened in each of those games. They're pretty straightforward. But these ballroom games, you can see already, are much more involved and involve a lot more nuance, and the players are definitely checking out those replays now.
Yeesh going to be playing as Ponytail here. Very favorable character for a spy like Yeesh. Very small model size, relatively fast, but look at this, immediately
There it is
the
again.
highlight comes through. OP's reads on Yeesh's character placement, as well as just early opening, is on point here. Has highlighted Yeesh more times than not just for entering into a conversation at the start of the game.
Yep, he's just watched not just the decision-making for Yeesh to make those beelines for the seduction targets, but also the manner in which he does it. And Opie is,
Whoa.
oh boy.
That was a sexy bug. That was a wrong arm into statues, and that's going to be Yeesh getting away with it for now. It wasn't very visible on Sniper Cam, but you have to infer it, and it looks like OP has done so with the middle statues as well. A lot of threat coming through for Yeesh's spy. A swap as well, but OP's all over it. Yeesh maybe trying to be a little bit too cute.
A little bit too cute, probably trying to go for a rush and dare Opie to shoot because he knows Opie is going to want to hold that shot. Remember, he waited for that final fingerprint on the twin ballroom game. We were a little surprised that the BB didn't lead to the shot. Opie just had a really good mission win count, but to Yeesh, that might look like hesitancy. He might think if I rush, Opie's not going to want to take a sieve shot. He's going to be too worried about misshooting. But in this case, it doesn't matter. He had 2 more flirts to go, and he was all over him for that early flirt. So as frustrating as it must be for Opie to not come even close to a spy win, Yeesh has got to be feeling the same thing, thinking, how does this guy know who I am right away?
Yeah, it's unreal. OP now spying as Queen. I think I want to see these players slow it down just a little bit. Yeesh almost feeling impatient for that first spy win, where from that point onwards, you can kind of assume in a series like this that you might just be able to sniper win it out. That's a green action test microfilm at green bookshelf really early on, with no cover as well in conversations. A great opening for OpiWrites.
Yeah, but he needs this now. This is it for Ballroom. If he wants to get his advantage on his pick, this is his chance to do it. He did mention that he thought Yeesh might be a little vulnerable to the microfilm animations, especially if he hits the greens. Certainly going to bank on that here.
Whoa, there it is. You can't see it.
You can't see it
because you have to. This could be a double hardtail game for OpiWrites, one that might he get away with. It really depends on if Yeesh was watching for the microfilm, or if he watches for the microfilm attempt at blue, or if OP even just goes for it. Maybe this is the point where you call an audible and just go, I've got the hardtail, I need a softtail win it.
Yeah, maybe. Even though you got away with that green, don't succumb to the sunk cost fallacy. Who cares? Just win any way you can. That bug was absolutely beautiful, but that's why Yeesh is so scary. A basically perfect invisible bug still gets you suspicion.
How does OpiWrites read his current situation? You have to be feeling good that the bug wasn't visible. How could it be? But at the same time, you have to appreciate the skill of your opponent here. A seduction target going to come straight back to us on there. OP's just nodding his camera as well, feeling good about it.
Well, it was so bad before that. He left 2 seconds before the flirt cooldown timer, but comes right back. But it's a white test. We're not going to get the benefit.
I don't think we would have been able to green flirt anyway from that range, but it's still pretty good for OpiWrites here. We've just taken a drink. We're on Ballroom of all venues, where the double agent is mean and never enters a conversation in the last minute and 30 seconds. Till the SpyParty gods beckon you to enter conversation. Thank you.
Not that one, though. That's, I mean, we'll take it, but that's not the one we had in mind. Opie's just going to go right in.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to respect that the double agent could be out of conversation for the rest of this game. From this point onwards, OP waiting for statue goers to enter conversation. The contact comes through and we're going to bail split immediately out of it here. Heading over towards the blue bookshelf to bet it all on a hard tell. It's going to be the action test microfilm to try and complete this one out. If we get shot for it, okay, we get shot for it. But if we don't, it's a flirt to finish the game.
Yep, and Yeesh had a little vulnerability there.
Green.
He kept it on screen, though. I think he got this.
Oh, you saw the shoulder. He saw the shoulder, and that's going to be OpiWrites shot in the head. Whew. These snipers are unreal. Still Sniper Party after 8 games.
We're deadlocked. Emphasis on the dead. No spy has escaped without a bullet. 4-4. No advantage from the doubled venue picks for either player, and now it's just a shortened set.
Absolute Shark Tank of a game here where spies get eaten up. Speaking of Aquarium, the next venue of choice here from Yeesh, picking it up as we head into our single picks, and a venue you can probably assume a spy win will be found.
You would think so, and yeah, it's suddenly looking like they knew it was going to be this way. Again, 8 for 8 snipers. Hard to imagine they're going to win both of these games, though.
Yeesh going to be playing Buns here, entering into a conversation, watching the party. It's a high shark to beat, start us all off here. And anyone who was at bar statues early is immediately a suspect on OP's eyes. Another highlight.
This time, I don't even know what it was for.
This time, the bug is behind conversation. You can't see it. Shark provides the cover. I mean, you're going to infer it here. OP certainly is going to, but there's no way to know for sure the bug was there.
Yeah, the problem is a few other people could have it too, but the fact that he highlighted him before it is so potentially significant. I can just imagine Yeesh's eyes popping out of his head as he looks at another replay and sees that he was highlight for nothing in the first 30 seconds again.
Unreal. Unreal character research coming through from OP. Unreal tendencies that Yeesh has been clearly building up over the time, unexploited so far. The contact going to come through 2 very full conversations with SDAs in it, and a couple of lowlights available for OP here. This is the second. Oh, no, it's not. I thought that Smallman was stepping into statues, but instead to the bookshelf for the second visit. That would be unreal if an AI was to help Yeesh out here. Instead, we're going to go for the Purloin, a direct Purloin take here, trying to frame an AI, potentially. The lowlight's going to start coming through. Yeesh has 3 out of 4 missions completed. And guess which one isn't?
Oh, boy.
It's the Seduce.
The one he always finishes. But can he really shoot him here for just a few talks?
OP, very good at flirt pairing characters. Looks like he just wants to shoot for a talk. The laser movement over the character here certainly says that you are suspicious as heck of Yeesh's spy. The first flirt, 26% with 2 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to finish the flirt, but maybe you have to be a little bit aggressive at this late game stage.
You absolutely do. It is
Not
Aquarium. Oh my god.
Not if that happens.
Oh no. It doesn't matter. He's all over it. Wow.
Unreal. Yeesh gets shot in the foot, and OP gonna keep the Sniper Party alive and kicking. Now stepping into the spiral of Aquarium to try and find our first spy win in this gold final.
Absolutely insane. He is flirt pairing him every potential game. He's highlighting him in the beginning of every potential game. And this now, even though it wasn't his choice, this might be OP's best or only chance to get the spy win he needs.
Kane chasing the Ambassador, bugging the Ambassador, bailing to the statues at the start of the game. And Yeesh does not show any indication of seeing that bug. If OpiWrites can keep himself out of a position where bugs could happen behind sharks, that could be the one mission required that you need to get past Yeesh's sniper.
I hope he's not purloining here. I really feel like, for the reason I mentioned earlier, not wanting to shoot for the obvious thing, there's a really good chance he could inspect aggressively twice.
Yeesh sees those. Yeesh sees those. Etiquette sniper. You have to imagine Yeesh is on top of that. Gets highlight for stepping into the bar. Quick delegate reject. OP really feeling under pressure here. Feels he needs to get multiple hardtails past Yeesh's sniper to win this one. First flirt at 51%. Double agent joins our conversation. Could go for the contact here if we wanted to.
I think so, and I think this is the exact same mistake Opie made in the other time. As you mentioned, maybe once you get away with the bug or think you might have gotten away with the bug, forget the first half of the microfilm. It doesn't make sense anymore. Try to go silent or statueless or something, whatever. This case, I think it's the same thing. I think you got away with that bug. You don't need the purloin. Just inspect twice, and if he wants to take that shot, fine, but he usually doesn't.
It's going to be the contact coming through. Our seduction target is sent to the bar to complete our purloin here. Is it going to be in time? Yeesh. Will he see it is the question. A neutral light comes through. The purloin comes through as well. And now we are playing for a flirt. But Yeesh brings Kane back up to a highlight after the purloin is completed.
Can he shoot for one talk?
That's the real question. OP currently sits on an inspect. Has the bug in pocket. Will Yeesh pull back a sniper win? Just because he assumes that OP found a bug somewhere, somehow.
Oh, God.
There's the flirt. It's a green test. There's the 10 seconds. How does Yeesh do this? That's another sniper shot. Aquarium is spyless.
He had 2 minutes, Opie did. I understand the desire to finish at that point, but you have 2 minutes to put that little seed of doubt, and you just need a little seed of doubt to get away with potentially one more talk. It wasn't even a talk. It was at a window, and Yeesh gets it anyway. These snipers are unreal.
Absolutely insane sniper play coming through from these players, but I have to agree and emphasize warning track that potentially the routes that the spies are choosing, showcasing the immense pressure these two players are feeling.
5-5 after 10. I can't believe it. The snipers hang on in both Aquarian games. I think that's a miscalculation from Opie. I think you behave as if that bug is clean. You go soft tails the rest of the way and see if he gets you. We know that game turned on that purloin.
We step into high rise warning track for a breather to see how these players adapt mid-series here. High rise, the venue that if you're going to play a slow game and allow the party to accumulate suspicion and really drive that dagger into the heart of your opponent, you do so here. Yeesh takes the bug standard opener of bug contact, inspect, seduce, and fingerprint. Nothing tricky here.
Yeah, and I would focus on that bug. I don't know if Yeesh is going to want the standard soft tail finish. I think what he's going to do is going to watch the party, look for frame opportunities, and bug if he has to. But Opie is very aware of Yeesh's penchant for and skill at bugging the ambassador.
Where's our seduction target going? Towards the windows here, but Yeesh seems more set on watching the party rather than looking for the first flirt here. And this could be the slowdown that this series needed. Seduction target steps into conversation with us. We can flirt from across the conversation. We immediately leave the conversation. Were we looking for a bug on the ambassador, or are we just trying to break distance immediately?
I mean, sight unseen, I would expect Yeesh to bug here more often than most spies do on High Rise 3-5. But it's going to be dependent on whether or not he gets a good opportunity, I think.
We're currently at 5 apiece, warning track. And Yeesh has just found himself low lit for idling. You have to imagine that's what Opie's feeling. Opened the conversation with a suspected double agent, left without talking. As far as Opie is concerned, we know that Yeesh managed to sneak a flirt in there. We're going to gulp the drink in a conversation with ourselves. Now we head over towards our seduction target. And if Yeesh felt that low light, this could be the time to start mission completing.
Yeah, and he might know it, or might be able to guess it simply because it really seems like he was fishing for it. Maybe finally figured out, okay, he's burning me for these early flirts. But here's the thing. Can you really afford to employ that same flirt pairing strategy on High Rise where you don't have to rush the flirt?
This is perfect. Double agent in our conversation. Only 2 people out of conversation here. 3 people, sorry, I should say, because of course Yeesh doesn't know that Queen is a suspected double agent. Here comes the contact with Irish splitting and walking past the ambassador. How confident can OP be that that wasn't a walking bug at this point? Yeesh, contact completed, flirt coming off cooldown in just a couple of seconds time, and then we can finish with a middle statues as a low light on High Rise. But wait, what is this? Neutral lighted all of a sudden. Yeesh might have the flirt and the contact, but OP is not dead to rights.
No, and I think that could be the saving grace here. I thought this was slipping away. There's the bug attempt I mentioned.
That was perfect.
It worked.
Behind everyone. 5 seconds. Yeesh with the bug walking on wheels. And the first spy victory goes to Yeesh.
There it is. It's just like I said. He's going to want a bug. He's not going to want to give Opie that clean shot. I don't know if it would have been any different without that low light. It's entirely possible that just kept him out of the sniper's mind long enough. In the wake of the BB, waits just long enough. And it's just a brilliant Yeesh walking, or in this case, rolling bug that finally breaks the sniper party up.
And where do you sit mentally at this stage in a best of 16 series track after going sniper party for 10 games? OP drops the baton. How do you recover?
Well, one of the ways you recover is by playing on high rise. You are at least on one of your picks, and you're on one of the venues. You might actually be able to get something by Yeesh on. I think in this case, you want to use Yeesh's skill against him. Maybe you frame yourself, give him an obvious shot, an intuitive shot that a lesser sniper would take, and that Yeesh is not going to want to take because it's too obvious. That might be his best option here. Either way, it's really easy to imagine that he needs this spy win to win gold.
There's just no question to it at this stage. OpiWrites second seed in gold. Yeesh first. Yeesh needs 8. OP needs 9. And Yeesh currently looking to go up on high rise. OP's single pick here. Gonna be a Kane first pick for OpiWrites. We'll have to see how he wants to play it. AI's going to statues, as is the ambassador at the early stages of the game. That's Orange Dress and Twin, who have picked up inspects here. We're looking at this because that could be enough for OpiWrites to look for a frame onto one of these targets. However, as we can see, Yeesh is low-lighting early statue touches.
Yep, that could absolutely hurt too, because I don't think OpiWrites is going to be able to guess that it's happening, and if you try to frame a low light against Yeesh, you might have a bad time. On the other hand, Yeesh has brought low lights back up.
That's true. Lots of highlights coming through for potential flirt pairings, and OpiWrites, very smart to be standing on the opposite side of the conversation from his seduction target. High rise, it's just too easy to flirt pair, and OP's trying to do his best to not be flirt paired with pearls here. The green test helps a lot. A 37% means that you can get close towards the end, and it's all right.
Yep, we've passed the magic threshold where people who visit statues get low light. Instead, now they get high lit.
Currently, OP continuing to look at the party, weighing up his pathing options. Is a bug viable whilst Toby is offering a drink? Do I want the fingerprint from the drink as well? That's the question that OP is currently asking himself. Is going to be a statue goer taking a fingerprint from the drink. Is that enough to bring them up to at least a neutral? Is Yeesh so confident on his character picks? It's questions that we'll ask ourselves. Instead, OP is going to attempt the difficult, and he hits it. A camera shake for success, feeling good about that.
Yep, and he's been sitting there so long, he thinks maybe I can get away with this because I haven't moved, but he only got 2 white tests. He's not going to be able to flirt without a green now, unless he 4 flirts.
Seduction target leaves our conversation. OP's looking for a
broke
shot.
the animation!
But, he broke the animation, and you do not do that against Yeesh. What a terrible way to throw a game away for OpiWrites. Yeesh is 7-5 up on match point for the gold championship.
Yep, he needs 4 in a row now, Opie does, on Courtyard and Veranda against maybe the most dominating sniper in SCL history. Not accounting for level at least, but gold is pretty darn high. Opie's back is against the wall.
And Yeesh has not dropped a sniper game yet this series, and gets a chance to spy on the most spy-biased venue, as Ponoob quoted in 2018. Courtyard coming up next, and Yeesh loves his Courtyard cheese.
Yep, this is not just the gold championship here, a guaranteed spot in platinum on the line, but as I mentioned...
Oh, he's doing it! He's requesting a drink in the middle of no man's land, and he's hitting a white test.
It's a white!
Tearing it down. Oh dear. It would have been beautiful if it's a green, but it wasn't.
It's what he did on library. He went for the green. As you mentioned, he was clearly banking on a green purloin on library. He wanted to come out swinging. But in this case, Opie was ready for it again.
And that gives Opie a bit of a breather now. Not really, though, because you have to win this spy game. it's still match point for Yeesh. The chance to go to platinum for the Wonder Kid here is on the line, and OP needs to spy to keep the dream alive.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
Orange
Not only do you have to
dress.
win this, but you have to win another one after this on Veranda. The hill is so high to climb.
The pressure is building for OpiWrites as Yeesh looks to close out a series comfortably. A highlight for stepping into statues as OpiWrites going to start the game off with inspects on the courtyard.
Yep, I like it. After all those early lowlights for statue visits on High Rise, maybe he's thinking I'll try my hand at these, but Yeesh is just going to play this nice and cool. He's flashing on Bling Twin.
He's flashing on Bling Twin. Clearly not happy with the behavior of this AI. OP going to step into conversation here with the double agent quite early. Looks pretty good for a contact, but the suspected double agent is with almost no one. Here's the real contact, and it's a white test, and this might just lower suspicion onto the Bling Twin. That's the split, and Yeesh feeling like he should just shoot for it to be cool. He's saying, I want to, but he's going to hold his shot here because platinum is on the line.
If an SDA were in with Bling Twin, this game might be over already. We might have gotten our second Civ shot. We are one bullet away. If it ends up in orange, sorry. We have a new entrant into platinum and a new sniper win rate record.
Unbelievable scenes here on the courtyard as Yeesh holds his shot and sweats OP out in this spy game. OP now stepping towards the conversation with his seduction target, with the ambassador as well. A very respectful range, but the seduction target leaves us. A minute and 20 seconds, and it's going to be a bug attempt coming through from OP in just a second, I feel, as OP stares down the ambassador and watches the laser beam. There's the bug,
there it is.
And here it comes. The shot for the gold championship, and Yeesh will take it all. Into platinum he goes with a dominant sniper record.
7 for 7 on sniper. Opie didn't seem to stand a chance on spy. He matched him bit for bit. He matched him bullet for bullet the whole match. It almost worked, but he finally gives one up on High Rise 2, one of those patented famous Yeesh bugs, and that is all it took. One mistake on sniper is all it takes against a sniper like this. We have a new SEL record for sniper win rate.
Absolutely insane gameplay coming through from the gold champion of SEL Season 5. Yeesh will take it all home here and will be promoted directly into platinum, replacing Scallions, who lost out in the hazard match versus Banana Conda earlier on in the season here. Congratulations to Yeesh, and commiserations, of course, to OpiWrites, but it's not the end of their SEL 5 yet. They still have that promotion match to play versus Banana Conda later on in this postseason.
Yeah, and based on how they just played, you have to make them a favorite, certainly, to enter platinum. And unfortunately for them, have to play Yeesh again next season as well. Yeah, but it was just a really, really exceptional performance from both. And it's really interesting. So often we've seen these sniper parties, or more likely 10 out of 12 sniper parties, right? Even if they're not literally all sniper wins. Sometimes you see a lot of sniper wins, and it can be very boring, frankly. But this was not, because the sniper play was on the edge. It came at the end of great spy games that snipers somehow won anyway.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey there, OP. Congratulations
it's impossible to
on
win
a
spy
well-played
games
set.
against this guy.
That was a great set.
And we have
Yeah.
Yeesh joining us as well. Congratulations, Yeesh. That was a fantastic set. We were all in awe throughout the first, the first 10 games, all sniper wins. And then just everything turned on High Rise. But you both played amazingly well. Yeesh, how are you feeling after that?
Hands are still shaking, you know? I was super nervous. Yeah, you could probably tell that first game. I wanted to seduce there, not purloin. That was a mistake. I actually did not hit many green tests this set as well, which is pretty unfortunate. It was mostly due to me being nervous. Like, it calmed down a little bit. Like, I felt a lot better after the second library game, where I was 1 second away from mission win. So I felt pretty good about that game.
And Opie, how are you feeling?
I felt like I played that first half really well. I had some unfortunate spy losses, I think. Especially on High Rise. High Rise I just kind of bungled it, honestly. I missed the bug, then I broke a sip, which means I get an instant shot, even though I had that difficult fingerprint off the drink. And I also knocked out the biggest suspect in the game with my contact, which is just not the best,
Yeah,
not my best high-rise game.
that was huge. Twin had inspects and prints, so that was really scary. Because I was about to shoot him like on next talk and then BB, and I was like, thank the heaven. That's why I like lifted my laser in the air because
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
he salvaged the game. That was huge because he was
yeah, it
easily
was,
number one.
it was not good. I messed up on what I had Twin for, and I thought it was okay to knock him out because I had the difficult print. It wasn't, but you know.
I had nothing on you besides that. I thought you maybe had 50% on the flirt, like 40% maybe, but I didn't think you had much.
Yeah, I had one more to go and difficult print, so
I mean,
could have
Yeesh,
won
let's
that.
talk about your Spy Party competitive league history so far. You came into Spy Party in season 2 in Copper Division, where you narrowly missed out on making it to the championship, but into Bronze in season 3, where you placed second regular season and then beat Yerand 9-5 to win the Bronze championship, and then a bit of a break in SEL 4. How did that break affect your confidence coming back into competitive play? I know you played in Summer Cup obviously afterwards, and that would have reignited your confidence. But was there ever a doubt in yourself with all the new players coming in that you would come into a scene that didn't really fit you anymore?
Absolutely. You come in, you beat Dowsy 20-0, then you start losing 0-20, and then you start worrying like, hey, am I not going to be able to get it back? But honestly, that was like basic training was the turning point. And now I feel like my sniper is kind of like ascended into another tier where it's like it's going to be very difficult to beat me if I don't low at you. So
And
Well,
do you feel like that comes from the real life lessons, I suppose, that basic training can teach you of focus and regiment and just that kind of lifestyle that requires from you, or is there something else going on behind the scenes?
oh sure, like attention to detail is a huge thing that you learn in basic training, and then well, what do you know? Spy Party is a game about attention to detail, like that catch on ball. That's for the reverse bug. That's like really slight, and I wouldn't be able to. I don't honestly. I don't think without basic training, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Well, as Dozy said, a tier unto itself, actually. We're pretty sure, I'm going to crunch these numbers to be positive, but I think you just set a new SEL5 sniper win rate record. I think this is the highest sniper win rate we've ever seen in a full season, over 90%. Very impressive. And that's what I want to ask both of you about, the sniper dominance. Specifically, I want to talk a little bit about the early highlights from OpiWrites. Yeesh, when you were looking at these replays, were you wondering why he was onto you so early? And Opie, do you want to talk a little bit after, Yeesh, about how that happened and why it kept you in this game, matching him sniper win for sniper win?
I started realizing after I got highlighted as Alice that he was highlighting for character selection. So I ended up picking Wheels and picking Salmon on purpose after that to avoid that, and that's why I probably got that bug because he's not expecting me to pick a character that's incapable of bugging. So I was pretty sure it was character selection, at least for the most part. Maybe redirecting to the start, but that's my guess. That's why I started picking weaker characters as the match progressed after the ballroom game, for sure.
It actually was not character selection. It was a nice bug on Wheels, I'll admit, and I should have caught it. But what it really was Yeesh has a big tendency to just heat seek his seduction target in the first 30 or so seconds of the game. He will always have one flirt done by 30 seconds in. So I decided I'm going to highlight anyone who looks like they're flirting, even in a conversation, doesn't matter. And it worked in the replays. And it worked in the set.
Yeah, I mean
Unfortunately,
that's a fair tendency. So yeah, I totally agree. I do that.
And it clearly kept him in the game for those first 10 where you guys traded sniper victories and somehow traded them through Aquarium. That surprised me, to say the least. What did you guys think was going to happen there? Yeesh, you chose Aquarium. Were you doing it specifically because you were expecting Opie to match you on the sniper, or just because you like Aquarium in particular? And Opie, what were you thinking when he picked it and you think, oh boy, maybe this is the one way I get a spy win?
Mostly I knew I needed to get a spy win at some point. Opie's a good player, so my goal is pick up a spy win on either ballroom, um, on either first 4 maps. So I was picking like aggro maps and then courtyard for the basically confirmed sniper win, unless I just throw the game. And so yeah, I was just going for a map where I feel like I'm comfortable with sniper. He's not going to beat me, and I'm still going to be able to get some agency as spy, where I'm not just like locked into losing basically.
Yeah, actually, when you picked Aquarium, I was kind of excited because that was one of my considered picks. I was thinking, do I need to pick Aquarium here because it's one of those venues where, unlike High Rise or Veranda, both of those you don't actually do your early flirt thing usually. Um, so
Yeah,
so
Veranda's
so so
so
all of those 4 of 8s, even library, which I was worried about. I was actually wondering before this if I should have banned library just because of the performances on it before, and I had you locked down on spy. It felt like for gallery, but in the end, I still went with the gallery ban.
And
But
so, speaking of these dominant sniper performances and library, one of the most exciting moments of the set was in the third library game. Yeesh, you were the spy as plain twin. Your other twin got the early highlight for the flirt, but you picked up a highlight eventually, and you went in for this swap finish going from one statue over to the other. And Opie, it looked like you noticed Kane doing the swap. You weren't able to see the fade, and you had only 10 seconds to make a choice of who to shoot. What was going through your mind at the time?
well, so the thing is with that game was I was like, okay, this looks like an obvious green swap into. It looks so obvious. And so when King goes up to swap, I see the swap. I don't see the fade, and that's a problem because I know Yeesh is able to go and swap that, but I decided to just kind of stick with my research there. Like if I were playing Lazy Bear there, to name another gold contender, I honestly would maybe have shot the green swapper just because that's how Lazy Bear plays. But Yeesh, he finishes missions. He doesn't really go for frames very often, and so I just had to make that snap judgment right there, and I managed to make it right.
It's a fantastic shot and one you can be extremely proud of. OP, commiserations for losing out in the Gold Championship final, but a fantastic first season to you in Gold. You go on to play Banana Conda in the promotion match for Platinum very soon in the postseason. Any words you want to say about that?
I'm coming for you, Banana.
I'm coming for you. And Yeesh, congratulations into Platinum, one step away from Diamond, which I'm sure is your true goal. You've got SEL 6 to contend with, and it's looking like a 5cc. And congratulations, Yeesh, on winning the Gold Championship.
thank you so much, and yeah, thanks to Opie for a great match. Honestly, this game, it's like there's a quote a great Quake player said, it's like this game is only as good as the player sitting across from you. So
All right, well, thank you again to both of you for allowing us to cast this and for joining us for an interview. Thank you as well to Dowsey and Warning Track for casting tonight. And please tune in tomorrow evening. We have our weekly North American time zone cast coming up. And then throughout the week, there will be more live casts of Tournament of Position Round 3. We started with a field of 16, and as of now, there are only 4 players remaining who are still in contention for Gold Division, and we're going to be seeing exactly who makes it to Gold after those matches this week. So stay tuned and have a good evening, everyone.